sorry, my computer laptop died, unfortunately.
Well, I'm shocked.
No, I know, right? Well, until I don't know where my kids hid my charger for my laptop, so it is out of commission at least for the next 2 weeks until I can find a charger.
2 weeks?
Well, that's when next time we record.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll find the charger cord before that. Because I bet it was you that lost it, blaming your kids.
Welcome to the Spin Dash Retro Gaming Podcast. Prepare yourself for the joy of classic gaming, fired straight into your delicate little ear holes. Fire away.
Little pig, let me in.
Have you guys actually heard of Green Jello before this?
No.
So actually, I grew up. My parents had all the records, or all their albums.
There were more?
Yeah, they had several.
They're still around. I listened to a song today from them.
I remember seeing their music videos on MTV.
I'd never heard of them. And like the logo popped up. I'm like, who the hell is that? Why is that? What company is that?
Yeah. So I grew up with them, which is funny because this then truly shows the generation gap between my parents and your parents.
Yeah, because your parents were Generation X. Ours are a bunch of fucking boomers.
Yeah.
Boomers.
All right. So I found some booze.
What'd you got?
Pinnacle.
Where'd you find that?
So this is leftover. This hasn't even been cracked open. This was from Dan's bachelor party.
From the squirt guns?
Yeah, I never opened up this bad boy.
Oh, wait.
No, that was mine.
That was yours.
We just had a ton of booze, and we're old, so we didn't drink it.
Well, that's great news that you have booze.
Yeah.
So I'm drinking. I'm going to my very first actual drink I ever ordered from a bar. Cranberry vodka.
A Cape Cod.
Yep.
Cape Cod.
That's my go-to since I've been 21.
Yeah.
I've puked that up many a time.
It's a good golf drink.
John, what are you drinking? Nick's got Pinnacle.
I have. It's called a Night Light.
Ooh.
And it's got the Light Bright guy, and it's from Night Shift.
Oh, we went there. They were good.
Yeah.
Where are they out of?
It's like near Somerville, Mass. I forgot the exact town. It's like one over.
Nick, I thought of you the other day.
How so?
I was on the Twitters enjoying the cesspool that it is, and a lot of the people that I follow on the Twitter make some incendiary comments. I didn't realize that we're in the midst of a backlash against IPAs. I thought it was just like generally accepted that like everyone but you liked an IPA, and I got on there one day and it was just this wave of just shitting on IPAs. Like this is trash. It tastes like cat piss. It's just I don't know what happened. Twitter turned on IPAs very quickly.
Yeah.
Wow.
People I work with all like IPAs.
So I am drinking a Tessellation from Lone Pine.
Oh,
that's
nice.
good. Yeah.
Never
like
had
that
it. It's
one.
pretty good. Nikki picked this up for me.
Ooh.
Hey.
I'm gonna get some
I don't
beer.
know why I did it. I don't know why I didn't
She's
deserve
nice
it.
to you, right?
I think I'm running a little hot. Does it look like I'm running hot?
You're running
Yeah,
pretty
you're
hot.
spiking just a tad bit.
Yeah, I'm hot.
I mean, it looks like you're deep throwing the fucking mic right now.
All right. How the fuck do I get into? How's that? Is that better? Looking good?
Yeah,
Looking...
you're going down there. You're a lot better than you were.
Let's go back up a hair. Just a hair.
Welcome to another pitiful episode of Spin Dash Retro. No, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I picked an excellent game this time, guys. It's so awesome. I get to relive my childhood, my favorite. You know, I'm joined by the Scarlet John Spider-Man.
Scarlet.
Oh, John. See this? We're gonna get comic booky now.
You're gonna have to educate us because I didn't catch that.
It's gonna be serving so much education tonight. How you doing tonight, John?
I guess I'm all right. I'm on Earth. What is it? 3244, whatever.
Woo!
However many fucking Earths there are in the Marvel universe.
Oh, we're going into the multiverse. You're going to start seeing that, especially in the MCU now, too.
Yeah. Hard pass.
Also joining us is other fellow co-host, Matt Carnage.
Oh, I get to be Carnage.
He gets to be
personality-wise. I
Harrelson.
think you're probably the closest thing to Carnage.
Fair enough. You're a sociopath. We're gonna lock you up.
He's Venom, dude. The tongue, just for the tongue.
Yeah, but personality doesn't fit Venom's personality.
I don't know Carnage's personality, so I can't.
I don't. You're gonna have to talk to us like we're 5.
I want to see the correlation on your picks there.
Our picks. I actually just whimmed that off the top of my head. So, top of the old head. How you guys doing this week?
I'm doing good.
Solid.
I'm good now.
Oh, that's good. What happened, John?
Yeah.
Tell us. Let's know.
Oh, work made me go to prison.
I mean, probably deserve it.
Sometimes. Been a bad boy. No, it was we're upgrading a bunch of fiber networks for the Bureau of Prisons. So,
did any inmates show you their joystick?
Yeah, no, I got a couple odd stares and then a couple a couple nice guys that were working in a couple of the shops just said hi. It wasn't that bad. I guess I'm the senior engineer now in our department, and we have 3 engineers in training, and they all passed on doing this. They all had some excuse, so I had to do it. I
call them out on it. You're right? The lead. Call them out on it. It's just like,
yeah,
you can get your ass to prison.
Yeah. Or maybe I don't even know if my boss asked him because he's like, he knows that they're not field guys like we were back in the day. You know, they've had it easier, I guess.
They would be in the conjugal visit trailer, just taking it.
Fucking twats. Yeah. Well, yeah. So you're ramping down. I'm ramping down finally on my job.
About time. That's good news.
Yeah. Ooh, nice snap. All right, guys. So let's get into some more gaming there. Any pickups for any of you?
No.
Wow.
Not for me.
Dried?
Ish. Matt got another battery or some.
Yeah, basically.
Accessory.
I've bought nothing. I bought this little like adapter that lets you plug into your GameCube. Like does an SD to a GameCube, and if you've got you've either homebrewed it or you put in a mod chip or a drive emulator. I wanted to copy Game Boy saves because I've got plenty of ways to copy Game Boy Advance saves, and I've got no way to copy Game Boy saves, and this did not do the trick. So I'm back to the drawing board.
Mm.
I'm not going to pay $50 to buy a dumper when I can spend an extreme amount of money on an N64 EverDrive and a transfer pack on the N64 and do it that way. Yeah, that's much more absurd. That's the way to go.
I think it's the only way to also to transfer your Pokemon too. If you want to transfer them up to other generations.
That's what you have to do is if you want to get your old Game Boy, original Game Boy ones, what you have to do is you got to get your save file off the Game Boy cartridge, custom firmware your 3DS, and then insert the save into your custom firmware 3DS, and that gets them into the bank, and then you can get them current. I just want to preserve my saves because, I mean, at this point, they're old enough to go to college. So, like, let me just preserve it somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm the only one that really got some a fairly big pickup, actually.
All right.
I upgraded to a Switch, Nintendo Switch, not the Switch Lite. So I actually have a Nintendo Switch now. The Big Daddy. So I am a huge fan from the Switch, by the way, Switch Lite. It's such a big difference. Just be able to dock it and just play right onto the screen helps so much, especially playing games like Smash Brothers, I think, is the biggest one. That one's huge. It's a difficult game to play on the Switch Lite.
Yeah, Pro Controller's awesome.
The Pro Controller is very comfy.
It was a nice bundle. It was a straight up trade. I traded my PS4 Call of Duty Black Ops 3 edition with a controller and 2 games, PS4 games, which was Diablo 3, Soul Reaper, with also Spider-Man Game of the Year edition. So I traded that, and it was 3. I got 3 Switch games. I got Minecraft, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, and another copy of Animal Crossing. And a Pro controller.
So you and John can play together now.
I got a Pro controller.
See, that's clutch.
So that and obviously it came with an adapter for the other controllers as well. So
now, do your downloaded games transfer?
Yeah. Anything good. I bought on the store downloads right back on there.
Nice.
So it was a almost seamless process, and all my saves, so everything was backed up pretty good. And I'm selling my Switch Lite with the extra copy of Animal Crossing tomorrow.
And what are you buying?
There you go.
I don't know. That's I might use that towards something. I have no idea.
I mean, there is a game that you could put it toward, and by could I mean you probably will be required to. That John will be picking come next year.
Oh,
that's $15.
Not too bad.
Yeah, good deal.
Yep. I know I'm kind of I'm trying looking for a Game Boy Advance right now too. Just because it has a good. I like the catalog for the Game Boy Advance. It's a really decent catalog, and there's some games I want to get for it.
And we're kind of light on Game Boy Advance too. What, 2 games I think so far?
So I do have a game that's going to be coming up. That's going to be picked, and Matt, you probably won't mind it. John, you're going to fucking hate the hell out of me.
Pokemon. Which Pokemon did you pick now, Nick?
It's not a Pokemon game.
Wow.
Okay.
It is a series. It is a part of a series that you guys both love.
I'm going through what have we played that would be on.
Super Mario World?
Hint. Here's the other hint. I have it probably I have it the highest rated on my list, as John has it.
Oh, fucking no! Did John leave? He just got up and left.
He's got up and
left.
I fucking hate the chess strategy RPGs. I hate them. I fucking hate them. I never played Fire Emblem. It's like,
ooh, that's a good solid game too. Fire Emblem.
Okay, we'll move this person. Do you want to move them left? No. Do you want to move them right? Yes. Okay. How many spaces? What cloak should they wear? What sword should they use? You want to attack with this or this or this? Like, how many times do you have to fucking put? I hate menus. I hate them. I'm all done.
I should make
that and Pokemon. Like, I think you just like pushing the A button on menus. I think like I could just put you down with my kid's little fucking thing, and you would just be like pushing the A button, and you could be content.
You need one of those birds that like the water sipping birds.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fucking do that.
John, you keep on pushing, and I'll make you play Pokemon Coliseum.
That's fine. That's more entertaining.
That doesn't count. The Pokemon Coliseum is just a game that you plug your Game Boy game in. So is that like a backdoor way of making us play the Game Boy games again?
I could play the first 3 Pokemon games and just have a little bit of fun because I played so much when I was a kid. But the new shit, I don't know what it is. There's no nostalgia, and it's just old man rage. I don't like it.
Hey, they just revamped for the Switch, Diamond and Pearl. I think it's called Brilliant Glimmering Pearl or Glimmering Diamond and Brilliant Pearl.
They are too much stretching things so bad with this shit.
That's too much for him. Like, he literally tapped out after first gen. I mean, no one hated Crystal more than John, and that was That was generally a popular era.
That's actually one of the most popular era.
And
it's only second gen,
I'm sure
too.
It was fun, but I couldn't stand playing the game for 10 hours and having a battle every 30 fucking seconds.
That's one of our lost episodes, too.
No, yes, it is. I actually went through, Nick, and I was going to try to bring it back. Like, could I cut out parts? Because I have part 1 and part 2. And I was like, well, maybe I could combine part 1 and part 2 and do a bonus episode. But part 2 is so fucked without your track, which is the one that we lost. We have all the other tracks except for your track on part 2, so it's gone forever.
Forever. You should just put it together and be like, we'll just ad-lib. Like, this is the part where Nick says some more bullshit. It made John more mad.
It was, that episode was very Gwen heavy. There was a lot of Gwen. That was it was.
That's probably why Gwen. It was lost. Gwen probably got Gwen probably got on my computer and removed it.
Gwen made a lot of appearances on that one, and then we made a lot of discussions about anime girls, and then it was offensive. That was probably peak offensive, actually. I wish we had it.
Yeah.
They caught on, and ever since, Nick's internet has just crashed every time we record because they don't want him talking about it.
Some person at the NSA is like, shut him down, Pokemon! Gwen!
Nick.
Well, hey, I mean, my picks are pretty solid, though. At least they're mid-road. I thought...
that's hell of a segue.
Yeah, they're pretty mid-road, right? I mean, I think my pick this time was, if anything, spectacular. One would say amazing. Oh, John, the game of the week. Come on.
Big thumbs down, the Joaquin Phoenix style.
Ooh.
Wow.
Come on, John. Bold, sir. This had an excellent soundtrack, one that is completely understandably the most original soundtrack I ever heard.
Did you tell us what the game is yet?
And I mean, it follows the most beloved comic book hero I think out there. We played Spider-Man and Venom's Maximum Carnage, which loosely follows the comic book.
What do you mean loosely?
It's actually loosely. It is not 100%.
I read as in I stole, Matt, the IP thief. I stole like a first couple issues, and I read it. I'm like, this is pretty good.
Yeah, but it's not 100%. It's not. I mean, it follows it, but it's not 100%. I believe. If I remember correctly, it's not 100. So
I will say if you read the first issue of that, they did a good job bringing the 1-for-1 with the comic book scenes. I was impressed. John's gonna have to do some work here.
That was a good intro. I like the soundtrack. I like the intro. The rest is kind of.
I mean, I mean, what do you expect from a side-scrolling beat-'em-up game? Besides side-scrolling,
yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Yeah,
but you're also playing iconic. Well, you get to play 2 iconic characters. So you get to be Spider-Man and Venom. And this was during, and you think when this game came out, at the height of where Spider-Man and Venom were, because you think at that time you had the comic books which were hitting off really well. Also, you had all the 90s morning cartoons on Fox. So you had the Spider-Man cartoons on Fox. So this was just hitting all those buttons. This was like pure nostalgia for me playing this.
I think it's peak Spider-Man. I think as far as I would go so far, and I'm jumping the shark, Nick. You're gonna have to dial me back because I'm gonna get raped. I'm gonna dial back, but I don't know if there's a Spider-Man game that I would rank as high as this one until you get into the PS2 GameCube era.
Yeah,
I think
At least if PS4, obviously PS4, everyone's going to rank that Spider-Man top tier because that game was incredible.
I played that game. That game was straight up remarkable. Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, the movie game for. I think it was both on. I think you could get it for both PS2 and the GameCube. I played on the GameCube, and it was actually phenomenal controls on the GameCube.
Yeah, I've read about that one,
and that was actually like spot on. Like that was fun because you're doing everything that you thought you were doing in a movie. You also had the voiceover. I think you had a voiceover. Pardon me. Voiceover from Bruce.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in that?
Yes, he's in all.
That's
He's in
great.
all 3 Spider-Man movies.
Add it to the list.
Also, I might actually be picking a Bruce Campbell game too.
Evil Dead.
Yeah,
the Tarzan game that you bought for
GameCube. That's gotta hit the list too. That's gotta hit the list. That should be actually one of my purchases. A GameCube controller.
Brendan Fraser is Bruce Campbell.
But yeah, Maximum Carnage. This was a great game, and when I played it through, I thought it held up from what I remembered. And I got to play 2. I played 2. I beat both versions. So, just to back up and dial it back down a little bit, this came out in 1994. It was produced by Acclaim, and as well as a subsidiary of LGN. Yeah, LGN.
LJN.
And this also had the soundtrack was produced by Green Jello, a great rock
jelly.
It's Jello.
They were Green Jello, and they got sued by, was it Kellogg's? Who the fuck owns Jello? And they changed it to Jelly with the little double dots. I can't remember what the name of that is.
But it's still pronounced the same thing. It's still pronounced the same way.
Yeah.
So it's still Green Jello. So it's the Crossbones with a green little like booger looking dude as their mascot or whatever.
They got some weird stuff going on.
This was also a MA13 game. And there's also
I didn't realize that.
Yep, it was an MA13 game. This is also the first game to for both the it was the first game for both the SNES as well as the Sega to have a red cartridge.
And I wonder if it's the only. To share to be both, because we know that Doom had a red cartridge on Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
but Doom
right.
So it'd be the only one, right? It'd be the only one to be both red on both.
Yep. And that's for the first. So I end up luckily finding, right as we're about to play it, actually, I found a copied with case and all. No, with just the game cartridge, actually in my Goodwill. Though it's not Well, I think I paid $6 for that. So I got a good deal for it.
So John and I have been talking, Nick, about LJN. I don't know if you've read the chat at all recently, but it's been nothing but John and I going back and forth about LJN.
Hot garbage.
Well, they had a big they did a lot of production of a lot of the superhero games of that time, and actually all through the 80s too.
They've done a lot of crap.
I mean, John, you have some of that crap.
I have. They're sitting right here. We're going to play show and tell.
I traded you one of those craps.
We're going to play some show and tell.
And to be fair to the listener, we're channeling Angry Video Game Nerd here because I think he speaks for all of us when he brings out his LJN criticism. I think he's just like, he's commenting on a common truth, and that we're benefiting by knowing that truth. And that truth is LJN normally sucks. So John, what do you got?
Yeah, what do you have?
I have. First off is a Game Boy. It is True Lies. It is not good.
To the list. No. To the list.
It is not good. Second off is there's still a sticker on this from a yard sale.
Ooh, nice. Keep it on there.
Is Warlock.
Oh, I won't play that game actually.
No, you don't.
I almost bought that, John.
Well, I did for $1 at some point in my life.
I almost bought it for $3 at Goodwill, but I was like,
if you buy it, I will buy it.
It's not there anymore.
It is not good. The third is, Matt, there's going to be some noise because it is in plastic.
Oh, what?
I got it at a flea market. It is the Spider-Man and X-Men
Ooh,
game.
I like that one. It's versus arcade, right?
Yep, it's not bad.
Huh.
There you go. There's my 3 LJN games. They're all of substandard quality. I don't know.
So
they're just, it's nothing to write home about. That last one's probably the best one. I haven't even played it yet. I know what it was. I saw it for $5. I bought it.
That's actually a steal for $5. Ain't bad. I liked the game. That one was good. It was between. I think they had another X-Men game too. What was it? It was the one where I think you're going against Magneto.
Yeah.
It's a Sega game, I want to say.
while you're looking it up, I can comment on some shit that I've brought for show and tell.
Ooh, show and tell.
Oh, what you got?
Christmas, I don't remember what year I wanted NBA Jam. I was really into that. Rented it a bunch. So I put NBA Jam on my Christmas list. And this is my mom. Did not like back then your parents really didn't know, like, oh, NBA, he wants a basketball game. Like, well, there's a very big difference between like NBA All-Star Challenge, which is just hot garbage, and NBA Jam, which is actually fun.
Oh,
and then I went through. Nikki had this in her collection. It's cheating. Doesn't count. It's a claim, not LJN. So we got to take it off the list. But I do have. I don't know if you see it or not. It is adamantium.
Oh, yeah,
adamantium Rage Wolverine.
Yeah.
And for bonus credit, I managed to find a game by Software Creations, who is the developer of the game we played this week. I have this for the NES. Solstice.
Nice. Yeah.
That's it. I'm low on LJN. I gotta invest. My portfolio is not diversified enough.
Yeah. Overall, who's worse? Software Creations or LJN?
Oh, LJN. LJN just has a track record. Again, check out Angry Video Game Nerd because he goes ape shit on every LJN game that he comes across. It's hysterical. But you want to get into the game a little bit more?
Yeah, so game was produced on both the Sega as well as the SNES. It follows the Maximum Carnage storyline for the 90s comics. And it's pretty much, I think one thing that this game had and hooked me on is the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Of actually bringing the comic. So it's like, it's literally like playing the comic book. Before, it was, I think that's what kept me into it is that, you're, Spider-Man going, swinging around, hitting, using your web shooters, your Carnage, letting out your rage. And it looked like you're playing the comic book. Because the coloring was great. Especially, I'll say, this version, and we can go on to it. Did you guys get a chance to at least video or play both sides at all?
I did. I played both.
Okay. So I'll say SNES was superior on this version, definitely. And I was actually kind of surprised on some of it because I figured at least it'd be very close. Just because I thought Sega could handle a little bit more, but it couldn't.
The sound is way better.
Yeah, sound was way better.
Yeah.
Also, where SNES background or the backgrounds were a lot better because you actually had backgrounds. Also, they did colors. Like something that's kind of separated the two is the emblems of the characters that you would what would you call them? Your aids, your superhero aids, were gray color and then colored in on the SNES version. So you actually had the true color. But you also had it interactive. You kind of had it more of like the background for the SNES. If you did have a background for the SNES, it was a lot more vibrant. It also kind of did more movement in the back. And then in some cases with the Sega version, you actually just had a black background. It just blacked out. So I was like,
I will give Sega some credit, right? Because they're limited in the fact that they can't throw off as many colors. Their palette's not as strong as Super Nintendo. But I found that the sprites they still kept that comic book look, even with a limited amount of colors. Like, I actually was impressed what the Sega did, to be honest with you, because I knew the Super Nintendo one blew the Sega one out of the water, but the Sega one was still strong. I mean,
I played both.
Very comparable games.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're not missing. You can play both and not really change too much off of what you're playing. I mean, you played one, you're playing the other one. You're just losing out on some maybe graphical things. But if you never played the other, say you didn't play this SNES version, then you wouldn't know a difference.
Yeah,
you wouldn't really care. It's same gameplay. You could still talk to your friends like, "Oh yeah, remember this scene? Oh yeah, you remember this scene?" Something. And it's not a long game. I think it took me 55 minutes to beat through and through from start to finish, which was weird because I never really beat it as a kid. I got pretty far into it. I always got to the one point you actually go into the Baxter building, home of the first family of for Marvel Comics. You guys know who that is?
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
There we go.
Go to their lab.
Yeah, you go to the lab. You fight these ball things that shoot like plasma rays at you. And I always gotten to that far, but that's as far as I always got. And I got the gun, and that's pretty much it.
You fought the dumbest boss in fucking the whole game.
Well, I always died at the boss as a kid. I was like, oh, this guy's pain in the butt.
Mazoid or something like that.
Exactly.
That thing sucked.
Sucked ass.
Oh,
so it was annoying. But it was good. I mean, the cool thing is, I think it was awesome when you get to go through. You kind of have also an interactive background. You can throw trash cans. My favorite thing in this game, no matter who I was throwing people at each other.
Yep,
that's probably the best thing in the world. Just do it because it's just annoying. Like if you have so many people, you're like, I'm just gonna throw all you guys out there. If you're Spider-Man or Venom, you had great moves like that double smack, where you literally get in between two, and if you press a button at the simultaneously time, you can grab them both, and it worked great on bosses.
I would try to do that. So, like control-wise in this game, like standard beat 'em up. Why I don't have notes for Sega because I primarily played it on Super Nintendo. But you have a punch, you have a jump, so you can do jump kicks, you can do back flips and front flips. And then I think what's unique to this game is like beyond that, you also have the ability to throw webs, and you have a variety of webs. So like you can use your web as a shield, you can use your web as a projectile to like stun people, and you can use your web as a means to like grapple onto people. So like what you're saying, I love that. Like you get two people and you get in between them and you just like smash them together. It's like, yes.
That did a lot of damage.
Especially it was good if you had like, well, at the like the end of level bosses or end of the stage bosses is key for those. Especially, I thought the most annoying of them of all was the umbrella guys.
Oh, they sucked. Yep.
Yeah.
Of those, of the non-super villain, those were the probably most annoying ones.
I wish we had a name or a list of the names for all the random bad guys. I just remember one of the punk guys was named Alamo, and I think I fucking lost it.
The names, and they all like the kids on the street. You notice they're all wearing like Target T-shirts, like they're doing brand rep for Target.
Yeah, there was like the punk kid, the trench coat guy, the fat guy, the jazzercise girls, and like
they were Valley Girls. I thought that's why I put them as.
Oh yeah,
do you notice back in the 90s, like other than like Raphael and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, like trench coats were perverts. I mean, that was like common for perverts. So it makes sense in like a Spider-Man game. Like you just got to go beating up perverts on the street.
Well, that or like in a crime movie, like the bad guy could wear, or the thug would wear a trench coat. Well, yeah, that's a back alley pervert thug right there.
Spider-Man beating up pedos.
So they're probably the worst. Well, also, I mean, it was just. I thought one thing that was great, and this actually separates the two as well from Spider-Man on a Sega and this Maximum Carnage on the SNES and the Maximum Carnage on Sega was the word bubbles, and actually having also the sound of when you hit someone. Like you actually had a punch down.
Yeah.
So I think that was the added benefit, definitely with the SNES.
Wait, the Genesis didn't have the word bubbles?
Oh, I think it did, but it wasn't like I didn't feel it as like interactive. I guess, yeah.
Sound effects were good.
Sound effects were solid on SNES. Thing I thought was really cool is the power-ups you can get as well. So one thing it had is you could actually have a lot of Spider-Man super friends in the sense. Spider friends. Though of all of them, I was really hoping like it would hark back, and even as a kid I was hoping it would hark back to the 1967 Spider-Man TV show where you had Firestar and Iceman.
What was that show like?
Watch it. It's on. You can watch it on Disney Plus.
Oh man!
So you got to walk me through all these people. Like I went through. I'm like,
I have of characters.
I don't know who the fuck the Cloak is. I don't know who
Cloak and Dagger.
Who is Tandy? Tandy.
Cloak and Dagger.
That
yeah,
was so bad.
So Cloak and Dagger was a duo that was on. Like they only had a very small area of had the same area that the Daredevil really conquered, right near their church. So what is it called?
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of it right off the top of my head. It's weird because they weren't a big. I never really knew of them besides this game. I didn't really see them too much in the comic. Pretty much, Cloak is ability to teleport, and Dagger shoots out light. So they're pretty much kind of opposites attract kind of deal.
She was one of the best assist people.
She was the better assist of them. Firestar wasn't too bad too. So you had Firestar, you had Captain America, you had Deathlock, you had Iron Fist, you had both Venom, or you could have Spider-Man depending on who you're playing as. You had Black Cat, you had who else? I feel like I'm missing one. Morbius, the living vampire.
And I'll be honest, I'm sure when you were playing through this, you were going, holy shit, they're throwing everyone in. Everyone's in this. Well, I was playing this, and I have no idea who half these people are.
So I guess I can give a brief there. So Iron Fist, you guys know who Iron Fist is, right? I mean,
no.
He had a movie. So he was
I didn't even know the story of the game, to be honest with you. I mean, I read a little bit, but
you had Carnage escapes the prison, and he's hunting down pretty much everyone that, in a sense, people that wronged him. And then you have Spider-Man and Venom, who's trying to get rid of him and take care of him. Ultimately, that's
Venom's a half bad guy, right?
Well, Venom started off as a bad guy. So Venom is a symbiote that. God, I'm trying not to go so deep into the comic book history.
Do it, because I don't know why the symbiotes hate each other.
Yeah. So Carnage is the son of Venom, offspring of Venom. So that's what he broke off.
How did that happen?
Venom. Can't remember this full storyline. I just remember he had an offline, and then obviously you have this offspring of Carnage is actually in the second game of this series.
Just replicates just one.
Yeah, but
shits out another
Carnage.
I thought Eddie Brock and whatever his name was in prison together, weren't they?
Well, yeah. So also Carnage is pure madness because you think the person that he's inhabiting this host is someone that's completely insane. So and they work so well together because they're actually their one goal is just a straight up chaos. Venom is really not about that, and also Eddie Brock wasn't initially a bad guy. He was just he got fired from his job due to Peter Parker, and he was due to Spider-Man. So he was exacting his revenge. Other than that, Venom ultimately turns into what's called an anti-hero through the comic book series. And I mean, it's not like he's bad. He's just, I guess it's just more or less, he does what he wants in a sense. He's more neutral
He's
than
Topher
anything.
Grace.
Yeah.
He's roaming the streets.
Or now it's Tom Hardy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the characters in here. So I'll just do the ones that are. You have Firestar, which was actually a friend. She shoots fire from her hands. She's actually part of the series, the early childhood series that I watched, the 67 Spider-Man. So other than that, that's all I really remember of her. There, I didn't really read much comics there. Demo Goblin is probably one of the most annoying of the goblins. So you have Hobgoblin, you also have the Green Goblin.
So what's the relation there? I never understood that. So Green Goblin, I get. Who's Hobgoblin and who is?
So
Demo Goblin.
Demo Goblin was the third Hobgoblin.
Got it.
And became possessed by a demon after making a deal with Enhastra. Yeah, it's weird there. He was an annoying one. Black Cat is so in this TV series she had taken, or her dad had given her super soldier serum. So she's actually a super soldier like Captain America.
Got it.
That just so happens to those in the business of stealing. So she's a high crime, thief.
A cat burglar.
Exactly. She's also a pseudo love interest of Spider-Man when he was not with Mary Jane.
He broke up with her, and he had this on the side.
Oh yeah, like in the series, in the comic books, they banged. They banged.
I was surprised because I didn't ever read the '90s comics until now. Like I'm like, wow, Peter Parker doesn't seem like the dweeb that they've made him out to in every movie series. He seems like a normal dude.
It's actually funny in the newest game, the Spider-Man for PS4. There's actually a point where you have to capture a Black Cat, and you find out that she's trying to save her daughter. And Spider-Man actually has to do math, and he has to break it to MJ that he might have a daughter, that it might be his daughter with the Black Cat.
Whoa.
Yeah.
John, remember when we called you in Florida and told you had a kid?
Oh God, you got me.
Morbius, the living vampire.
Called me from a Florida number. That was good, man. I was under the influence and easily gullible. Perfect timing.
Sorry, Nick, continue.
I'm just trying to get through. Iron Fist, he was part of a group with Luke Cage, Heroes for Hire.
All right.
Ultimately, white guy that lost his family, and he's ended up going to one of the hidden realms where he's taught into their secret art. So, what's going on right now in the Marvel Universe is Shang-Chi. You remember that?
Yep. Haven't seen it, but I know what it is.
Shang-Chi's area is same for Danny Rand is the name of the actual character. He was, raised by monks, and he ultimately is a rich kid that comes back, and he, works with Luke Cage and, helps people out. He was pretty much useless. The only real useful one I thought was either Firestar or Dagger. Everyone else, Black Cat was okay, depending on there. Who else? Oh, Deathlock. I don't know much about Deathlock. I know he was a soldier that has cybernetics. It's all I remember of him as I was growing up.
Yeah, I thought it was that cyborg from DC. I was like, what's that guy doing here?
Yeah, so I wasn't. Yeah, he's just a cyborg.
Yeah, doesn't ring a bell either.
So I'm surprised. I was weird. I didn't know why he was in it. I guess I'll have to do more on there. Some annoying villains in here. The super villains, though. The most annoying one I thought, at least for me, was Carrion. He was the guy that would float up and he would like kind of pick you up by your head, and you had that
you
aura
could barely
around your
hit him half the time.
Yeah.
And that's why he pissed me off so much. It was so hard to fucking hit him. The other person that was kind of a pain, was a pretty big pain, was, and I thought she was a complete cunt, was Shriek.
Yeah, fuck Shriek.
You should just zap all the
Fuck that
time.
climbing level.
Oh, yeah.
Right off the bat. Fuck that. I don't know if you guys made the same mistake that I did, where you read the arrow, and I don't know why. I was like, oh, that's the arrow. That's where the laser is going to be coming from. I would always go the wrong way. I don't know why my brain, it could be like the French instinct in me to go the wrong way. I would always go the wrong way when that arrow popped up and I needed to like dart to the other side. I mean, the game was telling you like, here's an arrow, go here, stupid. And for some reason, my brain just didn't register as she was like blasting me with shit. Fuck Shriek.
Yeah, that and Doppelganger in Spider-Man 2 was kind of annoying. You can at least hit him, but like if for whatever reason, he always had magic grabs where he'd grab you, and next thing you know, you're just getting clobbered. You're just seeing your health just go down very quickly. So
and you fought him like what, like 7,000 times in this game?
You fought him quite a bit. There,
it just like random pop in. Oh, you got to fight all the villains again. That bugged me a lot, dude. It was like, and then you couldn't kill him. You'd get him down, and they'd be like, bye. And you had to fight him.
You don't actually take
1-on-4 or whatever it was, like 1-on-3, 1-on. Oh,
it was always like him, like beating the shit out of you, and someone zapping you. The projectiles always got me.
So what I usually did, especially like the first time you do it, you had to climb to the rooftop, and I automatically went to the water tank, hit the water tank a bunch until it drops, lift it, and toss it at him, and it ends him quickly. Then you take care of Shriek. But before that, so something else that's in this game, there's actually some secret levels. Do you guys able to YouTube at least those?
I got a walkthrough because I was getting my ass kicked and getting game over after game over. Like I would find that, jumping ahead, I guess, I suppose, but like I always pick the Venom paths because I like Venom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would die at San Francisco, and I would keep getting game overs at San Francisco. I'm like, well, I'm never going to see the end of this fucking game.
Yeah.
So I had to get a walkthrough, and like through the walkthrough, you can find the secret rooms and the places where you get the extra 1-ups. And then that was like, okay, as long as I'm accruing 1-ups, I can at least stay afloat as I'm getting my ass kicked.
I used the Game Genie on the emulator after I kept getting game overs, and it was just infinite lives. I was like, I can't. For the sake of timing, I have to beat this game in quick manner, so I did that.
So, John, you cheated. I did not beat it, but I put in a good college try. Nick, did you beat it twice, you said?
I beat it twice.
No cheats?
No cheats.
Wow, gold star, my friend.
Well,
Nick's got that nostalgia feel.
Well, that as well as I remember how to do everything. So I was like, okay, so I guess I got to do this. I remember where everything was. And like I said, the only part I got like kind of iffy is at the point of where I got to the Baxter house. I'm like, oh, what do I do here? So yeah, I mean, I used a walkthrough from that point on as far as because I was trying to remember where all the safe houses were. So that's what I did. I just stocked up on lives. Like you max out lives, I think 9. I think is the most you can have. And I stocked up on continues, and I had everything. And also, I stocked up onto all the superheroes icons and used those whenever I could. So I just ran through there.
Wish that health bar got bigger or something as you progressed.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
No, go for it, because I was going to bitch about one of the things regarding the health bar, so go for it.
So one thing, I mean, with this, I mean, the strategy I had with it was, especially if I knew I had, like the main bosses or any of the bosses, I would jump onto the wall of the building and wait. And what they would do, they'd always actually separate side by side. So no matter what, when you drop down, you'd be perfectly in between them and you could get the smash hit. So that was a big strategy I did quite a bit with them. And like I said, anytime I could throw something, I'd use it to clean up people or throw them at each other. That was a big thing too.
I would always try to fight one at a time because as soon as I got in a cluster, I'd get my ass kicked. Like I found that if I could take out, I don't know, like the battle that I did over and over and I kept getting my ass kicked was like Doppelganger or Shriek. And I know it was like the first battle, but like if I took out one of them or put in a good dent on one of them first, it was so much easier. Focus on one. I don't know. Once you get in a crowd, you get fucked in this game.
Yeah, and that's where I think throwing is actually very helpful because you kind of organize where you want them. You pick one up and just toss it away, toss them across the stage. So, my
complaint about this, and it's a complaint that I have about a lot of beat 'em ups actually. Like side-scrolling beat 'em up games love this mechanic where if you press, two buttons at the same time, it gives you this super awesome attack, but it hurts you. And I fucking hate that mechanic. It
only hurts you if you make contact, by the way.
If you hit them, yeah. But it's like, well, that's useless to me. Like I'm still getting hit. I should just take the hits anyways. I hate that.
It wasn't as bad as if you got ganged up on. So that was key if you were. That was key, especially if you had to clean up. Like, so you said yourself, you got like ganged up on. So if you had to clean up a gang around you, just clean them up, put them through. It's weird. It's a beat 'em up game that you kind of have to use some strategy towards a little bit. So,
and I was surprised that all the like a beat 'em up game, right? Jump, punch, kick, call it a day. This had a lot of mechanics to it. I was actually surprised. Like I could swing on a rope, I could shoot a rope, I have a shield, I have this. There's actually for a beat 'em up. There was quite a bit here,
and that's where I think this version was superior on the SNES than on the Sega. It's because you had so many things, so it was easier to with buttons.
Yeah, because you can limit it to 3.
Yeah, unless you're using a six button controller, and so. But this is where I think it made more sense playing it. And I originally played this on the SNES. I didn't know the Sega version. Yeah. Until I found one. So, but I mean, it's a good game. I mean, your plot line is pretty much go through. You get this split off a couple times. You can either follow Spider-Man or you can follow, and that's probably why I was able to beat it so fast. I followed just strictly Spider-Man through most of it, and then
is that easier than Venom? Because I did the Venom. I kept doing Venom.
I thought so. I mean, that's the route I did.
Okay.
John,
what'd you do?
I did Venom. He seemed, I don't know, it was more fun. I just liked the character. His tongue would just stick out.
It was like time. Straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, it kept going back and forth. Like some of the levels were so short and then some took you a while. And like, there was one point where Venom gets captured because that fire starter girl did something. And then Carnage kidnaps you. And it kept going back to like Spider-Man getting in trouble on a roof and Venom had to come rescue him or like come to his aid or something like that.
So Firestarter didn't refuse to use her fire, which is one of the weaknesses for there. She had quote unquote a morality thing, and this is where Venom differs because he's an anti-hero. He's like, I don't care, just destroy the bastard. And where a hero it would say, no, we don't kill. So, and that's always been a quandary, between Spider-Man and Venom, crossing that line. When is it okay to cross the line? Because one thing that they actually go through in the comics, and you actually get to see this series in Supreme Spider-Man, is you find out that Spider-Man actually holds back a lot of his powers, his strength, when fighting villains. And you see that because Doc Ock ultimately actually takes over the body of Spider-Man, and when he goes after one of the villains, he's like, wait a minute, Spider-Man had this strength and he never used it on me. He could easily have taken us all out if he only unleashed his true potential power. But Spider-Man holds back because he didn't want to kill anyone, because he could literally rip.
He didn't go Super Saiyan.
Well, he didn't want to rip limbs to limbs. So,
well, the other thing too is like his web's like no limit. Like he can use his web as like a parachute. He can use his web to freeze people. He can use like Spider-Man is like he's pretty versatile.
He's got Spider-Man is
what can he do?
So Peter Parker ultimately, dive back into the game here real quickly because my laptop is going to die. I'll admit, and I don't know where the kids hit my charger. It was fully charged. So I have 20 minutes left on the battery.
Cut that in half.
But we had a good time on it. But ultimately, Spider-Man is a genius level. He's He's pretty much Tony Stark level's genius. So you think he built everything from scratch. So his weapons or his different types of webbing he used is stuff that he created that would help him, take on villains. Game was a nice solid playthrough. I thought it hit on the nostalgia. I think for me more than you guys, because I grew up with Spider-Man probably a little bit more involved in my life as far as comic books. I was always reading them as a kid, always had them around, always watching 90s cartoons. So playing this, I think I had a version. I think all my friends had a version of this game. So it was always in I went to my cousin's house. Oh, he had Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. Okay, we'll play that for a little bit. So this game was always definitely very prominent in my video games as well as the characters. I think that's probably why I think it held up. I mean, it's not the greatest, game out there, comparative to what it was coming out, especially at such 94. So 2 more years, 95, 90. When did the N64 start coming out?
96.
Say 96, yeah.
Yeah. And wasn't a PlayStation a little bit earlier than that? Wasn't that 95?
95-ish, I think.
Yeah. So you think this was coming to the end of an era for all considering, but for coming to an end of an era, it was a solid, beat 'em up game. And it had a decent, especially on the thing. I like the soundtrack. I think that's the other thing that kind of resonated with me because it was a similar music that my parents were listening to. So that 90s alternative rock kind of stuff. And it produced 2 great rockers out of it.
Yeah, yes. I'm glad you mentioned that because I was like, that's awesome. Go for it.
I mean, you have a member of Tool, and as well as a member from NAR. Is that what it is?
Guar.
You had 2 members from Tool because Maynard James Keenan was in for a little bit, I thought, I read. But Dana Carey was the big one, the drummer.
Yeah.
In this green jello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, fucking Tool came out of this.
Oh, man.
The fucking impressive. 90s, man. The 90s were nuts. I miss it.
Yep.
And, I mean, there's also I guess you could say, a Black Sabbath song in here.
Dude, it's a direct fucking copy. Mob Rules by Black Sabbath. I never heard the song until I came out. I was reading something. I'm like, they copied Mob Rules from Black Sabbath. I'm like, okay, this is just people exaggerating. It's just they maybe sampled some things like John did. It's not really
100%.
100%. It is the fucking song. I don't know how they got away with it.
No Vanilla Ice.
Is that the intro song?
No, it's the boss.
It's Carnage's song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Carnage's song.
You got to listen to Mob Rules, John. Is the exact same song. Ronnie James Dio when he was with Sabbath.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It is the exact same song.
So, anytime you say Ronnie James Dio, all I can think of is like 2010 or 11 when he passed, and all they played was Holy Diver for 3 months.
Love that song.
My God.
So, I mean, this game, I think it's going to rank higher for me. But as I put this...
So, Nick, I've got the list. I sent you an updated list in the chat, but I don't know if you got to it. So
no.
The screenshot is in the chat.
I would put this right near... I'd say this was like number... I'd say this is like number 17. Right above Quackshot.
God, you have Quackshot high.
Below Cave Story, above Quackshot.
Yeah.
John, you've been fairly quiet on your thoughts on this. What are your overall thoughts, John?
It was okay. The sound effects, the music were good. The story was jumbled. The background was. I didn't play the Sega one. I watched a couple clips, but I played the Super pretty much all the way through. I think I sped it up towards the end there. Yeah, it was a kind of middle of the road beat 'em up with a good character source, I guess would be the way to say that. So I'm gonna say this is number 25. It goes above Silhouette Mirage.
Ooh, bold choice. Okay, so you are gonna put it above. What the fuck is Silhouette Mirage? Why can't I read? God, I gotta stop drinking. All right, there we go.
Right below Crystallis, because I liked Crystallis quite a bit.
I will say that I would rank this as kind of a middle of the road game. It's probably going to be lower on our list just because I think we have a lot of like solid picks. So our list is kind of really skewed in that direction. I would give this a much higher rating if it was 2-player. I think that is the huge when I'm playing a beat 'em up, I expect it to be 2-player because that's when you have the most fun. And they figured that out because like separation anxiety that is 2-player, although the game isn't. It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah.
But I would dock this game heavily for not being 2-player.
So where you put it?
Shit tits. All right, let's take a look. Where am I have my list? It's gonna be. I would put it above Aladdin for the Super Nintendo, but below Quackshot maybe.
What number for you?
It ends up being something like 31.
Oh,
but it's low. But I mean, what's that?
Nick's gonna lose us.
That's okay. We got him on backup.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's gone.
Bye, Nick. Right in time for us to shit on the game.
Right in time for us to shit on the game. What I'll do is when we do our end of the, our closeout end of the year episode, I'll go in and I'll give what this game finally ranks because I'll do the math on that. But I'm going to put it, I think, above Aladdin, below Quackshot. And again, there's not much on our list that separates this from Body Harvest, but really there's a lot on our list that should separate this from that fucking game. So,
oh man, can you double check on the Google Drive to make sure that this has all the new stuff in it? I think it's in your Excel, but not on the Google Drive one.
No, I need to update it. I need to go through because it's living on my phone. So I'll go on.
Because I also want to aggregate because Nick keeps thinking that his picks are better than mine. So I want to get a weighted score per person.
Oh, I can do that because I'm already working on how many games that we pick on certain systems. Because in our upcoming episode, I'm going to criticize our lack of Dreamcast, N64, PS1, PS2, GameCube. That era, we're not doing so hot. So
I'm jumping in my next one.
Me too. My next two. Yeah. I'm going to try to rectify that.
64 I did, and they both sucked. So I had to step back.
That's where I'm going. So Nick isn't able to give us the sign off. He's always our sign off guy. I don't know if you want me to tackle it or if you want to do it.
Goodbye.
So we have socials. We're very bad at using them. Spin-Retro. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. That is a goal for 2021. We'll talk more about maybe using that a little better. We have a Discord chat. I can't recommend anyone join it because we hardly use it at this point. But maybe in 2022, we will be better at using our Discord. But you can find us. Please subscribe to our podcast so it goes right to your podcatcher.
Like and subscribe.
We should be on everything at this point. We recently changed from Podbean over to Anchor. So this will be the test episode to see how that transition went. But it should be smooth, so we'll see. But again, you should be able to find us everywhere where your favorite podcasts are found.
Yes.
Well, there. This has been a good time. It's too bad Nick come out. Join us next time for our closeout end of 2021 1. Thank God. Start of 2022 episode.
Nick's calling me.
Put him on.
Put him on the speaker. Hold on.
Yes.
So I guess let's wrap this bad boy up then.
Oh, we already did. We already did your sign off duties.
I did just sign off because I figured you were gone.
Okay, my arms are falling asleep.
Talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Later.